Hey guys, to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I'm going to talk with one of my heroes, Zack Childers. How you doing, Zack?
I'm well. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Good. So, Zack, you have cerebral palsy. Just to let everybody know, you are an athlete with cerebral palsy. Can you give us a little bit of background information, Zack? Where you live, what your age is, and what you're doing currently?
So I live in Eugene, Oregon. I'm about 29 years old. I was a powerlifter up until a year ago, and a buddy came up to me asking me what will it take for you to get up on stage as a bodybuilder. It crossed my mind a lot, but the big thing for me are finances. So it's like, well, Zach, if I can sponsor, I will sponsor you if you'll do this with me. So the rest is history. I shook on it because I think a handshake is really important. And I said, I will see you in 2021. Started started dieting 2 months ago. That may be a long time, yes, but I wanted to be ahead of the game, get my mind right.
Now, I'm going to post up some pictures of your current physique, Zack. I'm going to use them as a cover of this video, and I'm going to post them down below for people to look at. I ran into you, I don't know, maybe 18 months ago. You joined the Massive Iron Facebook group, and I saw your video on Vimeo. I'm going to link your video on Vimeo down below. Who was that produced by, Zack?
So it's produced by Derek Corey. We went to high school together. I was the baseball coach. I was the baseball manager, and Derek, he was the catcher for Sheldon High School based in Oregon.
No. When I saw that video, I've been involved with Special Olympics powerlifting, but what really impresses me with you, Zack, and one of the things that makes you one of my personal heroes is no matter what you attempt, whether it's swimming, whether it's powerlifting, whether it's building muscle, and now with your diet, you absolutely destroy it. You do a wonderful job with no matter what you do. What is it inside of you, Zack, that drives you to achieve things that most people can't achieve?
Well, honestly, so really funny story. So when I was a little kid, my mama adopted me. I was just talking about this story with my wife last night. Funny enough, I heard that. So I was in a wheelchair. My she really wanted me to walk. She actually pushed me out of the wheelchair and she said, Zach, you will walk. So I think that kind of lit a fire under my ass a bit. And when my mom passed away when I was 13, that got me working out. And I loved it so much, I stuck with it.
So I'm going to dive into some of your accomplishments in your numbers in bodybuilding and even swimming and things like that. But I want to backtrack to the beginning of your story. And again, I want to tell people to check it out down below. It's a Vimeo video that shows people where you came from. But in the video, it talks about how they didn't expect you to walk at all. Is that correct?
Yes. I got some more information on that. They didn't expect me to walk or talk, but if I were to talk, my sister would be the only one that understands me. And, they will fall off on that regard.
So they said they assumed you'd never be able to walk and, like you said, talk. What was the first sport or athletic endeavor that you got involved with?
The first sport, wow. The first sport was high school wrestling. So first I wanted to go out for football. My mom, the person that was taking care of me at the time, said I couldn't do it because one it, I would be paralyzed for life. So, okay, I like being taught. Uh, I I like to be taught I can't do anything on my life. So I was like, basically, I feel I'm gonna do something else. So my mom saw a documentary about a kid with one leg who got accepted on a full-ride scholarship to the University of Arizona State. And he was wrestling with one leg. And later on, he beat a wrestler from Iowa, a prestigious wrestling school. And yeah, the rest is history. She let me wrestle.
So how was your wrestling career? Did you win a lot of matches? Were you pretty good?
No, I only won one match. But you know what? I don't care. I liked the talents. So one thing that's really interesting is the first day. So it was pizza day to get people to the door, right? 32 kids came out, or 60 kids. Guess how many kids were left like the next day? Only 11 kids, including me. 60 to 11 kids. That's the drive I have.
So Zach, you were involved in wrestling, and then in the Vimeo video, it talks about swimming. You were involved in Special Olympics swimming. At what point did you start to take an interest in lifting weights?
At what point I started to take an interest in lifting weights. So my mom passed away when I was 13. Luckily, I was in the Big Brothers Big Sisters Club. Big Sisters Club when it was still alive in Oregon. So luckily, my big brother in the program was a personal trainer for the YMCA. So he would take me under his wing in the gym every weekend to train. And when my mom passed away, I found weights because it coped with my sadness, and I stuck with it ever since. So if my mom wouldn't have passed away, I probably wouldn't have found weights.
So you started lifting weights, and anybody that looks at your body right now looks at it and like, you look really good. You look muscular. You have some good thickness, and you've been working on leaning out for your bodybuilding contest. But when you started lifting weights, how long was it from that point until you discovered the sport of powerlifting?
Oh, okay. 7 years. Yeah, 7 years.
So you lifted about 7 years before you tried powerlifting?
I mean, I lifted on and off for
Okay.
7 years. I mean, yeah, I was just dabbling it. A year before I powerlift, I was actually on the swim team. I was about 135 on the swim team, and yeah, the rest is history.
So what's your height, Zach, just for reference?
I'm 5'4".
So you were about 135. What weight did you compete at when you did powerlifting?
I competed at I competed at 130 to 140, I believe.
Okay.
And then and then I was sick of losing. So I was sick of losing every time contest. So I decided to put on some weight.
What was the heaviest that you got?
The heaviest I got was 183.
So I remember seeing you bulking up to 183, and I could tell you were packing on muscle. Tell us about some of your lifts in powerlifting, your bench press and your deadlift. Which lift did you like the best?
Oh, I loved the deadlift. So I was competing in my second ever USPA competition in Sisters, Oregon, and my dad was never been to any of my my dad was never been to any one of my contests ever, was driving all the way from Prineville, Oregon to see me, and I really wanted to impress him. And I did my best deadlift that day at 455.
455.
Yes, I did 460 in the gym, but that was near hotel.
So you dabbled in weightlifting, and then you got into powerlifting. And what was your body weight when you pulled 455 and 465?
I was 181.
Okay, that's ridiculously strong. That's why they call you the deadlifting beast.
Yes.
So how about your bench press? What was your best bench press?
So my best bench press was 250, and that was 250, and that was at the WABDL meet, the World Association of Bench Pressers and Deadlifters in Olympia, Washington, I think 2 or 3 years ago. 250 bench press at 181 pounds.
So from a cerebral palsy standpoint, you didn't seem to struggle much with the deadlift, but I saw when you started to squat again, that gave you a little bit of trouble. How are you with squats today?
Uh, honestly, if I struggle with balance a lot. So if I can get my balance good, I can squat pretty good. My best squat was 265 at a powerlifting at Special Olympics powerlifting regionals.
I have to tell you, when I watched you first try to squat on massive iron, I didn't I didn't know how it was going to go because I coached Special Olympics, and they just introduced the squat this year for the Special Olympians in Ohio, and that's a hard lift to teach because depending on what conditions some of my Special Olympians had, it was really hard for them to squat. I didn't think you were going to be able to squat 185, but you crushed 265. Is that what you said?
Yes.
That's an incredibly impressive number. So you're going along powerlifting. You're showing everybody what can be done. You're just a superhero, and you were a superhero in swimming. Now I've watched you probably over the last several months. You post your meals on social media, extremely dedicated, extremely intelligent approach to dieting. How much weight have you lost in trying to cut down for bodybuilding?
So I lost about 27 pounds in I lost about 27 pounds in 2.5 months.
And when are you planning on competing?
So 97 weeks, uh, so 97 weeks equals 20 months. That's like a year and a half, I believe.
Okay. And how does your current training program look like? How many days a week do you lift?
So I lift about 5 days, and it's really funny. One of my friends messaged me, and he's been seeing my results, and he's like, Zach, if I take you to the gym, or if I take you to the gym and take you home, will you help train me? Well, I've never trained anyone in my life. I was up to the task, so he already lost 2.5 pounds in 2 months.
That's wonderful. So, Zach, I have a question for you because you have, like, as much as I'm impressed with your dedication to muscle building, your dedication to powerlifting, your dedication to swimming, your dedication to diet, what I respect about you most is your attitude. You are a wonderful human being. You're kind, you're patient, you're respectful. And I see sometimes when you post on my group, Massive Iron, people don't know you have cerebral palsy. So they see you shaky in a squat, or they see you shaky in a bench press, and they make a really critical comment without knowing your condition. How does that make you feel, and how are you able to handle it so well?
I honestly, have to, I belong to a lot of lifting groups on Facebook, and I've learned over the years, just post your disability, and maybe they will back off from the critical comments, and it's been working. That's the reason why I say on some of my posts I have cerebral palsy, because you're all right. People don't know that I have cerebral palsy.
Zach, one thing I have to say is that, in coaching the Special Olympics, people tend to look at the Special Olympics athletes as Special Olympics athletes, but really they're just good athletes. You're just a good athlete. Like your deadlift at your body weight, your bench press at your body weight, the amount of muscle mass you have, your ability to be a quality swimmer, your ability to stick to your diet, the results you get aren't Zach with cerebral palsy. It's Zach. Everybody would want to be like Zach. It doesn't matter that you have cerebral palsy. Your results are something somebody that doesn't have cerebral palsy or a disability would want to have. What do you have to say to them? How can they be like Zach?
How can they just have a good attitude? It's all about mindset. If you're So one thing my wrestling coach taught me when I was on the team, short for uh short for the stars, but aim for the moon. And that's the thing I try to preach to everyone. I mean, just a good mindset. That's all you have to do.
So tell me a little bit about your diet right now. How are you eating, and do you ever cheat on your diet?
Yes. So we're all human. So last week, it was my non-vaccinated cheat meal. I accidentally had 3 cake pops, and I was so freaking upset at myself. I talked to my wife about it, and she said, don't worry about it. You're not in serious prep right now. It's fine. You're human. And I'm still trying to let that one go. But other than that, so in the morning, I have about 6 egg whites, 1 yolk, or 5 egg whites, 1 yolk, and a cup of oatmeal for lunch. Oh, and black coffee. And for lunch, I have tilapia or chicken with mustard. I freaking love mustard, man.
I'll let Alan Roberts know. Alan Roberts loves mustard. Do you watch Every Damn Day Fitness?
Uh, I I watched some of his stuff.
So you have tilapia or chicken during lunch. Do you have any carbs during lunch?
Yes. I'm sorry. I have 2 cups of rice. So someone said you always. Someone says with diet, you always have to keep it interesting, or you won't last long in this game. So what I do sometimes as what I like to call is a healthy cheat. I grab a cup of white rice and I put some olive oil in a pan, and my coach told me to make fried rice. So I love homemade fried rice. And then for snack, I don't really use supplements. I never really believed in them, but my coach taught me to dabble in protein powder. So I have a protein shake for snack, and for dinner I have tilapia and or I have tilapia or a sirloin steak for dinner. I have two fatty meats a week, like top sirloin steak or salmon.
So do you cheat at all on the weekends, or do you eat pretty much the same on the weekends?
No. So I have one cheat meal a week. I'm allowed to have one cheat meal a week, and then in May, to convince my coach I'm really serious about this, I'm going to his diet the whole month of May. That means no cheat meals the whole month of May. That will give me a little taste of what this diet is about. Guys, bodybuilding. So when you're in show prep for bodybuilding, I can't stress this enough, guys. It's really difficult. It's not for the faint of heart. I mean, it's not for everyone, and it's okay. It's just for the strong-minded. I'm sorry to break it to you, but this is what my coach told me. It's for the strong-minded people.
So Zach, I'm sorry, Zach. I want you to give some people, some words of advice or some words of wisdom. For the people that struggle and they look at Zack, and when they initially look at you, they look at you as an athlete with cerebral palsy, and then they realize you're just a good athlete. And most of the people that follow me on Massive Iron would love the results you have. They would love your strength. They would love your muscle. They would love your ability to stick to a diet. What words of wisdom or advice can you give to them about what it takes?
First of all, don't compare yourself to other people. That's rule number one. Never compare yourself to other people. Everyone's different. Second of all, mindset. You have to have the right mindset. It's a marathon, not a race. So I put on like 9 or 10 pounds of muscle, I believe, in 9 or 10 years. You know, I mean, I was dabbling in your mass. I was looking at somebody on Massive Iron this morning wanting to put on 32 pounds of muscle in a few years. It's not possible naturally to put on 32 pounds of muscle in 2 years. It's not possible. You have to be a genetic freak, in my own opinion, to put on that much muscle in a few years. So yeah, don't be like your fitness icons. Don't act like you can get the muscle size, because you can't. You have to build your own path, eat your damn vegetables and protein, and just have fun. The world is your oyster.
That's some good advice, Zach. So, Zach, one more question for you. Of all the things you've accomplished with swimming, with powerlifting, and with building muscle, what's the most satisfying? What's been the best accomplishment for you?
Oh, God. Powerlifting. So the reason why I say powerlifting is because I hold a lot of state records. I hold state, national, and world records in powerlifting. I've only done swimming for like 1 year, but the real reason why I got in Special Olympics powerlifting, the director for Special Olympics, Eugene Springfield, called me. He's a personal friend of mine, and he's like, Zack, I think you're suited to powerlifting. I've seen your muscle. I think you will be really good at it. So I'm like, okay, I give it a shot. And they wanna practice. I freaking loved it. So I stuck with it.
So, Zach, do you have any other goals after the bodybuilding is done? Are there any other sports or athletic endeavors that you want to give a shot?
After bodybuilding, I think I'm gonna stick with this for a while. I'm not gonna say goodbye for sure with powerlifting. I'm just gonna say see you later and see where this career takes me. Or knows, somebody might spot me in the crowd and want to sponsor me or something. That's my main goal. I want to get sponsored.
Well, Zach, I appreciate having you on my channel. You're one of my personal heroes, and I always looked up to you because you do things that are absolutely amazing, and you never complain, and you have a wonderful attitude. Where can people find you on Instagram?
So people can find me on Instagram at deadlifting beast.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Zach. I appreciate you joining me today, and I'll have this video up in just a couple of hours. You have a wonderful day.
You as well. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye now.
Bye.